Networks for maximum energy recovery. This topic gives idea on the positioning the heat exchanger by working out from the pitch. And alternative algorithm strategies that we can use is mixed integer linear programming that we will see in another lecture. To explain the approach of this Lenhoff and Hinmarsh in 1983, it helps to refer a diagram showing the pitch decomposition network, that is one on the hot side of the pitch, one on the cold side of the pitch. That this diagram that we have already seen in the lecture number 2, how to draw this diagram. Attention is focused at the pitch where the temperatures of the hot and cold streams are separated by delta T minimum, means at this across the pitch, right? So consider the schematic of the counter current heat exchanger, that is in figure number 2. The hot stream having a heat capacity of the flow rate of the CH that is enter at the inlet temperature THI and it is having outlet temperature THO. It will transfer the heat Q to the cold stream that has a heat capacity flow rate of Cc, that is entering at the inlet temperature Tci and existing at the temperature Tco. On the cold end of the heat exchanger where the temperatures of the hot and cold streams are the lowest, the approach temperature difference is delta T1, and on the hot end where the temperatures are the highest, the approach temperature difference is delta T2, that is shown in the figure number 2. So carrying out the energy balance of hot and cold streams, what we will get from the formula Q is equals to Cp delta T. We will get the delta T as a Thi, means inlet temperature of the hot stream minus outlet temperature of the hot stream, and Ch is the heat flow rate and Q is the heat. Similarly, for the equation number 2, means cold streams, Q is equals to Cc minus Tco minus Tci. Now we will subtract equation number 2 from the equation 1. What we will get is Th minus Tco, Tho, Tci. That is equals to Q 1 upon Ch minus 1 upon Cc. Now what we will do, the Thi minus Tco we will consider as a delta T2 and Tho minus Tc1, that Tci that will consider as a delta T1. So when a heat exchanger is positioned on the hot side of the pitch, which is considered first arbitrary delta T1, that is equals to delta T minimum in equation number 3. So equation number 3 becomes like this: delta T is equals to delta T minimum plus the remaining terms. Then to assure that delta T2 that should be greater than or equal to delta T minimum, since Q is greater than 0 and the heat capacity flow rates are positive, so it should follow one of the condition, that is Cc, means cold stream capacity that should be greater than Ch, means hot stream flow rate. So it is the necessary and sufficient condition for the hot side of the pitch, that is for the match to be feasible at the pitch on the hot side, and Cc should be greater than Ch, that must be satisfied if two streams are matched at the pitch. So this condition cannot be satisfied, means it is infeasible condition. Delta T2 where delta T2 is delta less than delta T minimum and Cc is less than Ch, right? So similarly, for the cold side of the pitch, the condition is Ch should be greater than Ch. Delta T1 should be greater than delta T minimum. So when heat exchanger position on the cold side of the pitch, that is the necessary condition. Here we can note that, or we can see that the condition is just the reverse of that of the hot side of the pitch, right? So by this derivation or this consideration of these conditions, we will see one of the typical heat integration problem, that is H1, which is having a total 4 stream H1, H2, C1, C2, right? And all the data are given here. This problem that we have already shown in the temperature interval method also, same data. So we have already calculated its QH minimum and QC minimum, means MER targets. So it is having MER targets 48 kilowatt and 6 kilowatt. How to solve this MER targets, that you for that you can refer the lecture number 2, right? So we will see the explanation of this method by consideration all these condition. Let's see that. As stated previously, when designing a HEN to meet its MER targets, no heat is transferred across the pitch. And hence two HENs are designed, one on the hot side of the pitch, one on the cold side of the pitch. That we have already shown in this diagram. We have divided this problem into two parts, one on the cold side of the pitch, one on the hot side of the pitch. This is the pitch temperature. At the hot side it is having a 70 degrees Celsius temperature, at the cold side it is having a 60 degrees Celsius temperature, right? This problem we have already discussed in the lecture number 2, TI interval method, temperature interval method, in which we have solved this problem. That's why we know the minimum energy requirements for the hot utility is 48 kilowatt and for the cold utility that is 6 kilowatt, right? Now we will see how we can transfer the heat of the H1 H2 with C1 C2. So first we will start with the cold side hot utility. So first we consider this necessary condition. This is CC, means heat capacity of the cold stream, that should be less than the hot stream heat capacity, right? So here we will see the 4 and 1.8, that is less, 1.8 is less than 2. These requirements, this condition is met in this H2 and C2. So we will first consider H2 and C2. We will transfer the heat in between H2 and C2. Now we will see how much heat is required, cooling is required to H2. So 70 minus 40 into its heat capacity, that is 60 kilowatt is required by H2, 60 kilowatt, and it is having a total heat 60 minus 30 into 1.8, means 54 kilowatt is heat is available in the C2. So we will transfer this heat and So total 54 kilowatt heat is supplied by C2. Now remaining heat we will remove by cold utility, that is QC minimum 6 kilowatt. So here we get the minimum utility target. Now what we will see in the another section, we will see the consideration of the hot side of the pitch, right? So we'll consider the hot side of the pitch. So first we will start with this condition. Cc should be less than Ch. So Cc should be greater than Ch, for the hot side of the pitch. So in this condition, what is the which stream fulfill this condition, that we will see. So we can transfer H1 to C2, H1 to C1, or H2 to C2, or H2 to C1, right? So first we have seen that for the hot side of the pitch, H1 will transfer to C2. So the H1 is having a 1 and C2 having a 1.8. So H1 means CH is less than cc. How 1 is less than 1.8? So we can transfer this. Similarly, we can so the ch means H2 having a total FCP 2, and we can transfer this to 4 because 4 is greater than 2. That's how I can transfer. So we will see the requirement of these two streams. Now H1 requires total 100 kilowatt. So that we will transfer this 100 kilowatt from the C2. Total available heat by C2 is how much? 108 kilowatt. So now we will transfer the 100 kilowatt to the H1. It is having available heat is 8 kilowatt. That we will remove by the heat exchanger. So we will remove the 8 kilowatt heat by the hot utility, right? This is this 48. Now how much required by the H2 streams? 130 minus 70 into its heat capacity means 2. So you will get 30 plus 30 60 into 120 kilowatt is required by the H2 stream. Available heat by the C1 is 100 minus 60 into 4. So how much heat is available by the C2? Total 160 kilowatt heat is available, right? So what we H2 required only 120 kilowatt heat. So we will remove the remaining 40 kilowatt from the C1, 40 kilowatt, right? So this is the method of solving this pinch decomposition network by this condition that we have derived by stream at the pinch, right? So maximum energy requirement that we can draw by this network, right? So what we need to do first we need to see the fulfillment of these conditions. And yes, one more question that is arise in your mind, that's why we calculate 100 kilowatt, because 180 minus 70 is 110 kilowatt, but we cannot consider here 70. Why? Because total stream is available in between the range of 180 to 80. So 70 degrees Celsius we cannot consider. So we are having a total 180 to 80 range. So 70 degree is not in the range. So it is not in the range of the pinch temperature. That's why we have considered 180 minus 80, the total requirement of the stream that is fulfilled by this C2, right? So reference that I've used is Warren D. Cedar and Jerry Cedar in this particular lecture. This is Product and Process Design Principle book, right? So thank you for this listening, and please to subscribe this channel, like this video. Thank you.